Yeah, so I'm definitely going to try to finish this prediction video now. Colorado goes to Oregon. This is going to be a really interesting game. Colorado, if their QB had stayed healthy against Michigan, they had a chance to pull out the upset there. The way Colorado played against Michigan, I'd say if they have QB that stays healthy and really performs for them, I'd say they could maybe have an 8-win season. Oregon is underimpressed so far, and if they keep doing that weird thing, they go for 2 and it doesn't work out like it did against Nebraska. That's gonna, I don't know, I just couldn't figure that out. If they made all their extra points, they had a chance to win that game. So I think Oregon probably gets out to the early lead, maybe even like a 21-0 lead before Colorado makes it a game late. But I think Oregon ultimately hangs on, maybe wins by 4 or something like that. Very interesting game here. The tale of two coaches on the hot seat. I think Gus Malzahn honestly should have been fired last season, if not the season before that. Auburn's coaches, they just ever since Gene Chizik, hadn't gone well for them. Or I should say, I guess ever since Tuberville left, really. Auburn hadn't had the same type of sustained success. Yeah, Auburn, hadn't been blown out by anybody. They've been able to stay in their games because of their great defense. Offensively, they've looked better against Texas A&M, I guess. Again, Texas A&M gave up that late score because the game was already decided. Then, actually, one was not expecting Texas A&M if they to even really win that game, or especially not by 13 points. But LSU, they just kind of surprised me. I thought Mississippi State had a shot against them, and they did in the end. But if LSU can just find a way to finish out games, that'll really help in their favor. And they are favored by 3.5. Whether it's Les Miles that's the problem, or the offensive coordinator, probably the whole coaching staff should be fired and have a revamp. It's going to be pretty drastic, but that might be what it takes if LSU wants to get back to winning national titles in the next couple of years. So Sean White is improved. John Franklin III, he's a great runner, but a lot of people aren't big believers in him. I think it is good when QBs improvise sometimes, but they have to be smart and they have to be mobile when they do it. So I'm actually going to predict an upset here. I'm going to put LSU on upset watch. Sorry for the coughing. I'm going to say Auburn actually holds on to win by like 3. So pretty big shocker there, I guess. Texas State is actually seems to be a fairly decent FBS team. I think they actually beat Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, even if Greg Ward is still banged up, and he probably is after being forced, it seems like, to play all the game against Cincinnati, they should have put the backup in, but they didn't. So he's probably still banged up. Either way, I think Houston gets it done. Arkansas State, the roast of college football. They should finally get a win against Central Arkansas. Troy, they're actually one of the biggest surprises to me so far. I've just been used to seeing Troy look pathetic in all the games against the big guys, but they should have pulled out the win against Clemson. They were robbed by the officials. Dude, just worse. Dead set on Clemson winning that game. That just really still fucking pisses me off so bad. So Troy should be 3-0 in the top 25 right now, but they should get by New Mexico State. South Alabama has not impressed me since beating Mississippi State. I don't know if that's because of injuries or whatnot, but here's an interesting game not many people are talking about. I can't believe this. It's flipping on ESPN3. This should at least be on ESPN. What a joke. This is a pretty good game between two mid-major, I guess, teams. Georgia Southern. I'd have to look at their schedule, but if they beat Western Michigan, I guess they have a chance to go undefeated. I don't know about the whole way, but this is in Kalamazoo. It's at Western Michigan. Western Michigan has looked okay. They haven't dominated anybody, but they've had decisive victories. I have a bad feeling about this game from Western Michigan, but I think they will be the team to go 4-0. Sorry to Georgia Southern, but so I think they'll go into the Central Michigan game 4-0. Army, another kind of surprise. We knew they were going to be better this year, but 3-0, and you saw that game against who they played last week. I can't remember, but they won like 59-6 or something. It was ridiculous. I don't know why Army's only favored by 14, but I think they should win this pretty decisively over a winless Buffalo. Kansas State has looked like a good team. I think they should be ranked in the top 25. They gave Stanford a fight late, and they dominated whoever they played last week. It was a cupcake, but still. Number 20, Nebraska, goes to Northwestern. Northwestern got the much-needed win over Duke, but I don't think that shows that Northwestern's any better of a team. They're still atrocious. Again, they lost to Illinois State, so that explains a lot. Some people are putting Nebraska on upset alert. I don't see it. I think Nebraska wins this by like 15 to 20 range. Baylor has its first real test. No, the SMU game does not count. Neither does the Mercer game. Baylor, I already predicted them to go 7-5 in another video, I think. So I'd put Baylor on upset alert here. They can score, but I don't think they have as good of an offense maybe as Texas Tech or Cal. Again, Art Briles is gone, but Kendall Briles is there, and he's shown himself to be fiery enough, not willing to hold back. I guess I should say. But I think Jim Groh will be gone after this season. I really want to pick Oklahoma State to win this game, but I'm going to say Baylor hangs on for dear life. South Carolina goes to Kentucky. Kentucky got a rebuke by Mike Stoops this last week, some conference or some press conference. But I'm going to say South Carolina pulls out another victory. They've looked decent so far. Their defense has looked okay, except against Mississippi State. But I'll say Will Muschamp gets another W. Stanford goes to UCLA. UCLA has not impressed me, and they've looked really inconsistent. Josh Rosen, he's piled up some big numbers, but he hadn't impressed me that much. Christian McCaffrey has done really well. If he has a breakout game, Stanford should win this pretty easy. So I'm going to say Stanford wins. Louisville against Marshall. Again, Marshall, they did not look good against Akron, so Louisville should blow them out. Memphis, I'll say they avoid an upset bid from Bowling Green. I'll finish in the next video, guys.